You've known this feeling, that gnawing emptiness, the sting of words unsaid, the heavy weight of being unseen. You've stood in rooms vibrant and full of life, yet you were a ghost, a whisper in a hurricane. They talked over you. They dismissed your ideas, your passion, a flickering candle in their indifference. Oh, how it hurt. A silent scream trapped in your chest, a constant ache. You poured your heart out. You offered your truth and met with blank stares, or worse, polite smiles that hid contempt. Doubt became your shadow, their disbelief a constant companion. Did they see the fire in your eyes? Did they hear the conviction in your voice? Or did they only see what they wanted to see? Someone to overlook, someone to forget. The world kept spinning. Life went on, but for you, a part of you withered. Each dismissal chipped away. Each moment of invisibility left a scar. You questioned yourself. Was I wrong? Was I not good enough? Was this all I was destined for? To be the one on the outside, looking in, longing for recognition, for validation, for a sign that your existence mattered. You prayed for clarity. You begged for a breakthrough. You pleaded for someone, anyone, to see your worth, to acknowledge the unique spark within you, the gifts you carried, the purpose you felt burning inside. But the silence persisted. The invisibility lingered. It felt like a cosmic joke, a cruel twist of fate. You chosen for a reason, carrying a divine mission, yet treated like dust, like a forgotten footnote. The pain was a constant companion. It seeped into your dreams. It colored your waking hours. You saw others rise, others praised, others celebrated, and you wondered, why not me? What did I do wrong? Why am I always the one left behind? The weight of their doubt became your burden. Their skepticism, a chain around your soul. You fought against it. You pushed back. You refused to be broken. But the sheer force of their collective ignorance was overwhelming. It felt like battling a tidal wave with bare hands. You felt alone, utterly, profoundly alone, even in a crowd, even surrounded by people. The isolation was a cold, sharp blade, twisting in your gut. You poured your energy into your work, your passion, your calling, hoping that eventually the results would speak for themselves. That undeniable proof would force them to see, to finally open their eyes, to acknowledge the truth they had so readily ignored. You endured the whispers, the snickers, the condescending advice. You absorbed the criticism, the judgment, the outright disbelief. You carried it because you knew. Deep down you knew there was something more, something greater, a purpose far beyond their limited vision. You felt the divine hand guiding you, even when the path was shrouded in darkness, even when the voices of doubt echoed loudest. You held on to that inner knowing, that whisper of destiny, that unwavering conviction that you were meant for something magnificent. But the waiting, the constant agonizing waiting, it tested your faith. It strained your spirit. You watched doors slam shut, opportunities vanish, dreams deferred, and the question would resurface. Am I crazy? Am I delusional? Is this all just a figment of my imagination? The world told you no. They screamed no. They validated their own opinions by silencing yours. They built walls around your potential. They confined your spirit. They tried to shrink you, to make you fit their narrow definitions, their limited understanding. But you are not meant to be confined. You are not meant to be silenced. You are a force of nature, a vessel of divine light. And the time is coming. The time is drawing near. when the universe will shift, when the scales will tip, when the truth will be undeniable. They doubted you. They ignored you. They tried to erase you. But they underestimated you. They misunderstood the power that resides within you, the power that has been forged in the fires of their disbelief, the strength that has been honed by every moment of invisibility. You have been refined. You have been prepared. You have been tested, and you have not broken. You have endured. You have persevered. You have kept the faith. And now the great revelation is at hand. A moment where all the whispers of doubt will be silenced. All the voices of opposition will be muted. All the shadows of disbelief will be banished. God is about to step in. And when God steps in, everything changes. The world will see, they will finally see, the truth of who you are, the magnitude of your purpose, the brilliance of your spirit. No more invisibility. No more being overlooked. The stage is being set. The spotlight is being prepared. And you, my chosen one, you will shine brighter than ever before. Their doubts will crumble. Their skepticism will dissolve. Their ignorance will be replaced by awe. Prepare yourself for the great silencing, for the grand unveiling, for the moment when God vindifies you. And the world will bear witness to the power of a soul that refused to be extinguished, a spirit that dared to believe, even when no one else did. This is your moment. This is your time. The great revelation is here. You felt it, that quiet, that space opening up around you. It wasn't emptiness. It was divine isolation, a sacred perimeter drawn by the hand of God. They called it loneliness. They whispered about being forgotten. They couldn't comprehend the fortress you were entering. Their earthly eyes saw a barren landscape. They missed the celestial architecture. This separation was not a punishment. It was a profound protection. A shepherd gathering his flock into a safe pasture. The wolves howled outside. They could not penetrate the divine fence. Think of the chrysalis, a dark confined space. It looks like an ending, a tomb. But within that stillness, a miracle unfolds. Wings are being formed. Colors are being painted. The metamorphosis happens in isolation. Your time apart was that chrysalis. The world's noise faded. Their doubts, their judgments, their distractions. They were kept at bay. You were shielded from the storms of their unbelief. God didn't cast you out. He drew you in, to a place where His voice could be heard, uninterrupted, unfiltered, a secret sanctuary. This isolation was a crucible, forging your spirit, burning away the dross of external validation. It was a refining fire, making you stronger, pure, resilient. When you were alone, you weren't abandoned. You were being prepared for a purpose so grand it required singular focus. It demanded an undivided heart. They saw you struggling. They saw you weeping. They mistook your vulnerability for weakness. They didn't see the roots growing deeper, anchoring you to an unshakable truth. The silence wasn't a void. It was a vessel, filling with divine wisdom, with quiet strength, with an unshakable knowing, a knowing that would soon shatter their skepticism. Each moment of solitude was a lesson in trust, in patience, in the power of the unseen. You learned to lean on a strength greater than your own, a strength that resides within, amplified by His presence. This isolation was a holy ground where you could shed the layers of conformity, the masks you wore for the world, and discover the unadulterated essence of who you were created to be. It was a time of deep communion with the divine, a sacred dialogue where your soul learned to speak his language, a language of love, of peace, of unwavering purpose. They wanted to pull you back into their chaos, into their predictable patterns. But God's plan was different. He was setting you apart for a special assignment. He was building an altar within you, preparing you to offer a sacrifice of praise, a testament to his faithfulness, a living monument to his power. The desert experience is a powerful metaphor. It's a place of stripping away, of dependence. But it's also where manna falls from heaven, where water springs from rock, where the impossible becomes reality. Your isolation was your desert, and you were fed, you were sustained, you were transformed. You emerged not broken, but brilliant, not defeated, but divinely appointed. The world will soon witness the fruits of this sacred solitude, the harvest of your quiet resilience, the undeniable evidence of his hand in your life. They doubted, they questioned, they judged, but they were not privy to the divine surgery taking place within you. The healing, the strengthening, the preparation. This was not a punishment. This was a privilege. To be chosen for a season of divine recalibration, to have your spiritual compass reset, to align with his perfect will. When you emerge from this sacred space, you will not be the same. You will carry the quiet power of one who has walked with God, one who has heard his whisper in the stillness. The world needs to see what happens when God sets someone apart, when he isolates them, not for harm, but for healing, not for abandonment, but for appointment. They will see a light that cannot be dimmed, a strength that cannot be broken, a peace that surpasses all understanding, all born from that period of divine isolation. It was a time of deep diving into the ocean of his love, exploring the depths of his grace, discovering treasures hidden from the surface world. You were not lost. You were being found by him, found by yourself, in the quiet chambers of your soul. This isolation was a protective cocoon, spinning a future of extraordinary purpose, a destiny woven with threads of divine intervention. So let them marvel, let them question, let them finally understand that the silence was not a sign of your weakness, but the very foundation of your coming triumph. God was not hiding you. He was preparing you in his secret place for his glorious purpose. And soon the world will know. They will see and they will believe. They tried to break you. They whispered lies. They mocked your faith. They told you you were alone. But they were wrong, so wrong. This isolation you feel, it's not abandonment. It's divine preparation. Think of the silkworm. It spins its cocoon. It retreats from the world. It seems dormant, vulnerable. But within that quiet darkness, a miracle unfolds, a transformation. You are in your cocoon. The world outside is noise, distraction, doubt. It wants to pull you back into its chaos. But God has called you into this sacred space, this holy solitude. This is not punishment. This is protection. The enemy cannot touch you here. The venom of their words cannot penetrate this sanctuary. You are shielded. You are covered. Your spirit is being refined. Like gold in the furnace, the impurities are burning away. The dross is being consumed, leaving behind a purer, stronger essence. This stillness is a battlefield. You are wrestling with your own fears, your own insecurities, but you are not wrestling alone. The Holy Spirit is your training partner, your coach. He is teaching you strength. He is teaching you resilience. The world sees your absence. They see your silence. They misinterpret it as defeat. They believe you have faded away. Let them believe it. Their perception is not your reality. Your reality is unfolding in this sacred quiet. You are being sculpted. You are being molded into the image of what God has destined for you. Remember the seed. It must be buried in the earth. It must be hidden from the sun. It appears to be lost, forgotten. But beneath the soil, its roots are growing deep. It is gathering strength. It is preparing for its ascent. You are that seed, planted in the soil of divine isolation. Your roots are reaching for the living water. Your spirit is drawing nourishment from the Father's love. This separation is a shield. It keeps you from the snares. It keeps you from the traps laid by those who envy your light. They cannot reach you in this place. They cannot dim your glow. Your silence is a roar. It is the sound of your soul preparing to speak with authority. Your stillness is a power. It is the gathering of energy for a mighty leap forward. They cannot understand this process. They are blinded by the material. They cannot see the spiritual warfare. They cannot comprehend the divine strategy. You are being set apart, not to be forgotten, but to be consecrated, to be made holy, for a purpose greater than you can imagine. This is the wilderness, the place where prophets are forged, where leaders are appointed, where the truly chosen are tested, and where they emerge not broken, but brilliant. Embrace this time. Cherish this quiet. It is the womb of your destiny. It is the crucible of your strength. The whispers of doubt will fade. The voices of your accusers will become distant echoes, because you are being moved into a new realm, a realm of divine favor, a realm of unshakable peace. This isolation is a divine embrace, a father holding his child close, protecting them from the storm, preparing them for the sunshine. Your tears are not for nothing. They are watering the ground for your breakthrough. Your prayers are not unheard. They are building the foundation for your miracles. The world's noise is a distraction. This divine quiet is clarity. It is focus. It is alignment. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. You are being equipped. You are being empowered. This is the deep work, the essential work, the work that leads to your ultimate victory. Soon the world will see. They will see the transformation. They will witness the glory. They will understand that this time of separation was not an end. It was the powerful sacred beginning. Your silence was your strength. Your solitude was your sanctuary. And now you are ready. A sacred hush falls. You stand alone, not abandoned, but chosen. This solitude, it is a crucible, a divine forge, where the dross of doubt is burned away, where your spirit is tempered, made unbreakable. They called it isolation. They whispered you were forgotten, but they could not see. They did not understand the celestial architect at work. This separation, it is the potter's hand, gently shaping the clay, removing impurities, ensuring strength for the masterpiece to come. You are being set apart, like a precious jewel lifted from the common earth, polished in the quiet chambers of the divine. This is not a void. It is a sanctuary, a place where the whispers of the world fade, and the voice of your Creator roars. Imagine a seed, buried deep in the earth. It appears dead. But this darkness is not an ending. It is the fertile ground for growth. The pressure of the soil, a necessary embrace. Preparing it for the sun, it is destined to meet. Your isolation is that fertile ground. The silence, the rich soil, nourishing the roots of your faith, strengthening the core of your purpose. The world outside it is a storm, a cacophony of fleeting opinions, of shallow judgments. It is designed to distract, to break your resolve. But here, in this sacred separation, you are shielded, protected from the tempest. The winds of doubt cannot reach you. The rain of criticism cannot touch you. You are within the eye of the hurricane, a place of profound peace, a vantage point from which to observe the chaos without being consumed by it. Think of the eagle. It soars to the highest peaks, away from the crowded valleys, where the air is thin and pure. It is a lonely existence, but it is freedom. It is clarity. It is dominion. Your soul is meant for those heights. This time apart is your ascent, shedding the weight of earthly expectations, breathing in the divine oxygen of truth. They see you removed. They mistake it for weakness. They cannot comprehend the power gathering, the reserves of spiritual energy being stockpiled. This is not a prison. It is a chrysalis, a hidden chamber where transformation occurs. The caterpillar confined and seemingly insignificant. But within those walls, a miracle unfolds. Wings are formed, colors are painted. A destiny is being prepared. Your current season of stillness is that chrysalis. The quiet days, the solitary nights. They are the unseen work of miracles. The slow, deliberate unfurling of your God-given potential. The world wants to rush you, to force you into its mold, to make you conform to its superficial standards. But your divine isolation is your refusal, your quiet rebellion against the mundane. It is the universe saying, not yet, not for them, this is for you. This space, this silence it is, where your true self is discovered, where the masks you wore for the world are shed, where your authentic voice begins to resonate. It is the sound of your spirit awakening, no longer needing external validation, no longer seeking applause from the crowd. Your deepest truths are revealed in this stillness. Your most profound insights are born in this solitude. It is where you learn to hear the subtle promptings of the divine, the gentle nudges that guide your path. The divine isolation is a refining fire. It purifies your intentions. It clarifies your vision. It strengthens your connection to the source. The world may try to pull you back, to drag you into its noise and its distractions. But you have tasted the sweetness of this sacred space. You have felt the power of being divinely set apart. This is not a punishment. It is an honor, a sacred trust. You are being prepared for a purpose far greater than you can now imagine. The quiet is not empty. It is full of divine promise. The solitude is not a void. It is a sacred fullness. Embrace it. Treasure it. For in this divine isolation, your true strength is forged, and your greatest destiny awaits. The silence speaks volumes. Listen closely. Your revelation is coming. And it will silence every doubter, every critic, every voice that ever tried to dim your light. Because you have been in the quiet, and you have been transformed. You are ready. The world will see, they will hear, and they will know. This was not abandonment. This was preparation. This was God. The world whispers doubt. It screams inadequacy. It mocks your dreams. But a different voice calls, a divine whisper, a promise of purpose. This is the season of divine isolation. It feels like a void, a desolate landscape, a solitary confinement. But look closer. This isolation is a sanctuary, a sacred space crafted just for you. It's not a punishment. It's a protection. Think of a potter's wheel. The clay is raw, unformed, vulnerable. It needs a skilled hand. It needs a quiet space, away from the clamor, away from the distractions. That's what this season is. The master potter is shaping you. He's molding your spirit. He's refining your character. The outside world is chaos, a whirlwind of opinions, a tempest of expectations. If you stayed there, you'd be shattered. You'd lose your true form. You'd be pounded into something you're not. This isolation shields you. It keeps the harmful winds at bay. It allows the gentle touch of the divine to work. Consider the seed, buried in the earth, alone, dark. It seems like the end, but it's the beginning. It's a necessary death to life. The darkness is its incubator. The soil is its cradle. Without this hidden time, it would never break through the surface. It would never reach for the sun. Your isolation is that fertile ground. It's where your potential germinates. The noise of the world is a thief. It steals your peace. It steals your focus. It steals your connection to the divine. In isolation, that noise fades. The static clears. You begin to hear the subtle hum of God's presence. It's a melody only the quiet heart can perceive. This is not about being forgotten. It's about being found. Found by yourself. Found by your Creator. In the stillness, you uncover layers of yourself you never knew existed. Strengths that were dormant. Gifts that were hidden. A resilience forged in solitude. The desert is vast. It appears empty, but it teems with a unique life. Adapted, resilient, thriving against all odds. The desert saints understood this. They sought the wilderness. They embraced the solitude because they knew it was in that vastness they could truly encounter the divine. They could strip away the superficial. They could confront their own shadows and emerge stronger. You are not being punished by being set apart. You are being preserved. Like a precious jewel, you are being kept safe from the rough handling of the world. You are being polished. Each challenge in this solitude is a stroke of the polishing cloth. Each moment of quiet reflection is a facet being revealed. The world wants to rush you. It wants to push you into molds. It wants to define you by its fleeting trends. But your divine purpose is not a trend. It's an eternal blueprint. This isolation gives you the time to read that blueprint, to understand its intricate details, to prepare yourself for its fulfillment. Think of an eagle. It doesn't build its nest in a crowded forest. It chooses the highest peak, the most isolated crag. Why? For protection, for a clear view, for the freedom to soar. You are an eagle. This is your high place, your vantage point, your preparation for flight. The world offers superficial connections, fleeting validation, empty praise. But true strength comes from within. It comes from a deep wellspring of divine connection. This isolation is your journey to that wellspring. You are digging deep. You are drawing up living water, water that will sustain you through any drought. Don't resent the quiet. Don't fear the emptiness. Embrace it. This is the crucible. This is the forge. This is where your spirit is tempered, where your faith is tested and proven, where the doubters will see your undeniable rise. The silence is not an absence of sound. It is an abundance of presence. God is here with you in this stillness. He is your companion, your guide, your strength. He is revealing His power through your quiet endurance. He is preparing you for a breakthrough so profound it will silence every single voice that ever tried to bring you down. This is divine isolation, and it is your greatest blessing. They tried to break you. They threw their words like stones. Whispers turned to shouts. Doubt became a storm. But you stood. You endured. And now the storm is passing. A quiet is descending. Not an empty quiet. A powerful, sacred quiet. This is divine isolation. It feels like being set apart, like the world has suddenly gone silent. You might feel alone, misunderstood, but this isolation is not a punishment. It is a shield. It is a crucible. It is a sanctuary. Think of the mountain peak. It stands alone, buffeted by winds, bathed in sunlight, far from the crowded valleys. The air is thin. The view is vast. This is where clarity is found. This is where strength is forged. You are on your mountain peak. The noise of the world can be deafening. The opinions of others a constant drone. They fill your ears. They cloud your vision. They try to dictate your path. But divine isolation silences them. It creates a sacred space around you, a space where your own voice can finally be heard, your own truth can finally bloom. Remember the seed. It must be buried. It must be alone in the dark earth. It is a period of gestation, a time of unseen growth. No one sees the struggle. No one witnesses the unfolding. But within that darkness, potential is gathering. Life is preparing to burst forth. You are that seed. This isolation is your fertile ground. The world wants to conform you, to shape you into its image, to fit you into its boxes. But God is setting you apart. He is creating a unique space for you, a place where your gifts can flourish, uninterrupted, unhindered. This is not exile. This is consecration. Imagine a potter with his clay. He takes the raw earth. He isolates it. He kneads it. He shapes it with his hands. He places it in the kiln. The heat is intense. It seems destructive, but it is the fire that hardens. It is the heat that refines. It is the process that reveals the true strength. You are being shaped. You are being refined. The heat you feel is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to reveal your resilience, your divine purpose. The noise of doubt is a distraction. The opinions of critics, a detour. God is rerouting you. He is shielding you from the static. He is clearing the airwaves so you can tune into His frequency, so you can hear His plan for you. This quiet is a sign of His presence, not His absence. He is closer than ever. He is working in this stillness. Think of the pearl. It forms within the oyster, an irritation, a foreign body. The oyster isolates it. It surrounds it, layer by layer. It transforms the irritant into beauty, into treasure. The world may have thrown its irritations at you, its criticisms, its doubts. God is now working within you, layer by layer, transforming them into your strength, into your testimony. This isolation is the oyster shell, protecting the precious pearl within. You were never meant to be defined by them, by their limited understanding, by their flawed perspectives. Your worth is not a matter of their approval. It is a matter of divine decree. This isolation is God reminding you of that. It is Him drawing you back to your own intrinsic value, the value He placed within you. The journey inward is often a solitary one. The greatest discoveries are made in silence. The deepest wells of wisdom are found within. This period of being set apart is an invitation to explore your inner landscape, to connect with your soul's true north, to hear the whisper of your own spirit. Guided by the divine, they may see your silence, they may interpret it as weakness, but they do not see the battle being won within. They do not see the divine armor being fitted. They do not hear the celestial strategizing. This is not surrender. This is a strategic withdrawal, a sacred pause, before your triumphant emergence. This divine isolation is preparation. It is purification. It is positioning. God is clearing the stage. He is bringing the spotlight to center. He is getting ready to reveal what He has been building, what He has been refining, what He has been protecting. In this sacred solitude, you are being made ready for the moment the world will finally see, the moment they will finally understand, the moment God silences their doubt with your undeniable victory, your undeniable truth, your undeniable light. The whispers started small, faint echoes in the quiet. Then they grew, a chorus of doubt, a symphony of disbelief. They told you it was impossible. They said you were a fool. They mocked your dreams. They tried to break your spirit, but something else was stirring, deeper than their words, stronger than their scorn. It was the fire within, forged in the crucible of your suffering, tempered in the fires of your pain. It was the quiet hum of destiny, the undeniable pull of your purpose. You walked through the valley of shadows, not lost, but on a sacred pilgrimage. Every stumble was a lesson. Every setback, a redirection. The darkness wasn't your enemy. It was your teacher. It stripped away the illusions. It exposed the dross. It revealed the unyielding core of your being. This was your spiritual mission. Not a gentle path, but a warrior's journey, a descent into the unknown, to unearth the power hidden within, the power they never saw, the power they couldn't comprehend. They looked at your scars. They saw weakness. They saw defeat. But you knew. You felt the truth resonate, each trial a chisel, shaping you into something magnificent, something unbreakable. The solitude was a sanctuary, the silence a sacred space, where the voice of your soul could finally speak. Uninterrupted, undistorted, they told you to give up, to surrender, to accept their limitations, their smallness, but their negativity only fueled the flame. It ignited a defiance, a fierce resolve. You learned to lean into the storm, to find your footing when the ground shook, to breathe when the air grew thin. This inner power, it wasn't given, it was earned. Through sleepless nights, through gut-wrenching fear, through the sheer stubborn will to survive, to thrive, to become. You absorbed the darkness. You transformed it. You made it your own. It became the fertile soil from which your strength grew. They saw the struggle. They heard the sighs. They witnessed the moments you almost broke, but they didn't see the grit, the resilience, the silent, determined climb back to your feet. Every tear shed was a seed of courage. Every moment of despair, a catalyst for hope. You were being refined, purified, shedding the old skin, the limitations of the past. You were becoming a vessel, ready for what was to come, a beacon for those still lost in the night. They doubted you. They dismissed you. They underestimated you. But God was watching. God was working. God was preparing you. For a moment, that would silence every critic, a vindication that would echo through eternity. This was more than just a personal victory. It was a testament to the power of the human spirit when aligned with divine purpose. The darkness had a purpose. It was to reveal your brilliance, to showcase your strength, to prepare you for your ascension. You carried the weight. You endured the pressure. You emerged not unscathed, but undeniably transformed, ready to claim your rightful place. ready to shine, ready to prove them all wrong. Your spiritual mission was unfolding, not in the spotlight, but in the hidden chambers of your heart, where true power is forged, where resilience is born, where faith becomes action. They may have tried to bury you, but they didn't know you were a seed, destined to bloom in the most unlikely of places. They laughed. They scoffed. They called you delusional, lost, broken. The world told you to give up, to conform, to accept their mundane reality. But you knew, deep down, in the marrow of your bones, you knew there was more. That gnawing feeling, that persistent whisper of purpose, it was the fire igniting your soul. The darkness wasn't the end. It was the forge, where your true strength was hammered into existence. Every setback, every betrayal, every moment of doubt, they were the bellows fanning the flames higher. You wrestled with shadows. You confronted your deepest fears. You walked through valleys where hope seemed a distant memory. And in that crucible, something magnificent was born. Resilience, unbreakable resolve, a spirit that refused to be extinguished. This wasn't just survival. This was transformation. You shed the old skin, the one that was too tight, too confining. You emerged not unscathed, but undeniably powerful. Your spiritual mission was being etched into your very being. It wasn't a path laid out with golden bricks. It was a treacherous climb, upward against the wind, through storms that threatened to tear you apart. But each step, no matter how small, brought you closer to your truth, closer to the divine blueprint woven into your essence. The inner power you cultivated was forged in solitude. In the quiet hours when the world slept, you were awake, listening, learning, connecting to a source beyond comprehension. The universe was speaking, and you were finally tuned in. They couldn't see it. They were too busy judging, too blinded by their own limitations. They couldn't comprehend the silent battles you fought, the victories you won in the unseen realms, the profound wisdom you absorbed from the very fabric of existence. Your mission was never to please them, never to seek their validation. It was to embody the light that had been ignited within you, to become a beacon for others lost in their own darkness, to show them that even in the deepest night, stars can still shine. This power isn't loud. It doesn't boast. It resides in the quiet certainty of your spirit, in the unwavering conviction that you are exactly where you are meant to be, doing exactly what you are meant to do. The darkness prepared you. It stripped away the superficial. It revealed the core of your being. It showed you your own boundless capacity for love, for courage, for unwavering faith. And now, as you stand on the precipice of this grand unveiling, a profound shift is occurring. The cosmic scales are tipping. The universe is about to bear witness to your journey, to your strength, to the undeniable power that has been simmering within you all along. They doubted, they questioned, they tried to dim your light, but they underestimated the divine spark. They couldn't fathom the strength that could be forged in adversity. This is not the end of your struggle. It is the glorious beginning of your recognition. Your spiritual mission is about to resonate, and all those who stood against you will finally understand. The power they tried to suppress was never meant to be contained. It was meant to erupt. The whispers started subtly, a low hum beneath the surface of your reality. Doubt, fear, the constant gnawing that you weren't enough, that your dreams were foolish, that your path was a dead end. They told you to be practical, to settle, to dim your own light. But you didn't. Deep within, something stirred. a fire forged in the crucible of your own struggles. You learned to listen to a different voice, the one that echoed in the quiet hours when the world outside fell silent. This was your spiritual mission, not a grand decree shouted from the heavens. It was etched into your very soul, a purpose that bloomed in the most unlikely soil. The darkness, the moments you thought you would break, those were the moments you were being built. Every setback became a lesson. Every tear watered the seed of your resilience. You faced the shadows head on. You wrestled with your own demons. And in that struggle, you found a power you never knew you possessed. It wasn't a power handed to you. It was earned, forged. It was the strength of a warrior who had stared into the abyss and refused to blink. It was the wisdom of a sage who had learned more from suffering than from comfort. They didn't understand. How could they? They lived in the comfort of the predictable. They clung to the surface. They never dared to dive into the depths. They never felt the raw, untamed energy that surges when you push past your perceived limits. You learned to trust your intuition, that quiet knowing that guided you when logic failed, that inner compass that pointed you toward your truth even when the world tried to steer you astray. That was the development, the strengthening of your inner power. The darkness was not your enemy. It was your forge. It was your training ground. It was where your spirit was refined, purified, and made unshakable. The trials you endured were not punishments. They were preparations. Every time you felt lost, you were actually finding your way. Every time you felt alone, you were discovering your own company. Every time you felt weak, you were tapping into a reservoir of strength that would surprise even yourself. This inner power is not about brute force. It's about unwavering conviction. It's about a profound understanding of your own worth. It's about the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you have weathered storms and emerged stronger. The doubters, they see the surface. They see the scars. They don't see the battle within. They don't see the evolution. They don't understand the sacredness of your journey. But soon they will. Soon the light that has been growing within you will become undeniable. It will radiate outward. It will silence the noise. It will drown out the skepticism. Your spiritual mission was never about proving them wrong. It was about proving yourself right. It was about unlocking the divine potential that has always resided within you. It was about becoming the person you were always meant to be. And the power you developed in the darkness. That's the power that will illuminate the world. That's the power that will inspire others to find their own inner light. That's the power that will finally silence the voices of doubt, both within and without. The mission wasn't chosen. It chose you. You didn't ask for this burden. It was placed upon your soul. A sacred trust, a cosmic assignment, and you felt it. Deep within, a tremor, a calling. Before the whispers of doubt, before the mocking laughter, there was a knowing, a fire ignited in the quiet dark. You remember the solitude, the crushing weight of it, the nights that stretched into an eternity. Each one a crucible, forging something new, something unbreakable. The shadows weren't enemies. They were teachers. They showed you the contours of your own strength, the resilience you never knew you possessed. Every setback, every betrayal, it chipped away at the false self. It stripped you bare, to the core of your being. And in that raw vulnerability, you found power, a power that doesn't roar. It hums, a silent, steady vibration. This inner force, it was cultivated in the absence of light, when the world turned its back, when hope seemed a distant memory. You learned to breathe in the darkness, to find your footing there, You learned to listen to the quiet guidance from within, a compass that never wavered. Even when the stars were hidden, this spiritual mission, it demanded everything, and you gave it without reservation. You surrendered your fears, your insecurities, your very will to a higher purpose, a destiny unfolding. The world saw weakness. They saw fragility. They didn't see the steel being tempered, the spirit being refined. They didn't hear the silent vows you made in the deep of night to persevere, to overcome, to rise. This inner power, it's not a gift. It's an earned inheritance, forged in the fires of adversity, hardened by the storms of life. You carried the weight so they wouldn't have to. You walked the path so they could follow. This was your sacred duty, your unique calling, and you answered with every fiber of your soul. The darkness was a womb, birthing your true potential. It prepared you for this moment, for this great revelation. You are not defined by the struggles. You are defined by what you became through them. The doubt they cast, it only served to illuminate your inner light. The more they questioned, the more certain you became. Your mission is not over. It is just beginning. The power you've cultivated, it's ready to be unleashed. Not for revenge, but for restoration, for truth. You are the embodiment of resilience, the proof that light can emerge from the deepest dark. The universe has witnessed your journey, every tear, every sacrifice, and it is about to bear witness to your triumph. The silence of your suffering is over. The roar of your truth is coming. They doubted. They mocked. They tried to break you, but they only succeeded in forging you into something extraordinary. This inner power, it's a beacon, a guiding star. It's the unwavering certainty that you were meant for this. You were chosen, not for ease, but for impact. The darkness was a necessary passage, a sacred rite of passage. It stripped away the superficial, revealing the divine within. You learned to trust your instincts, your intuition, your soul's wisdom. This mission, it's about awakening, about transformation, and you are at the forefront, leading the way. The strength you found in solitude, it will now echo through the world. The peace you cultivated in the storm, it will now bring calm. The revelation is this: the power they denied you. You forged yourself in the crucible of your own making. The mission was to discover this truth and to live it. You are the living testament to the power of perseverance, to the unyielding spirit, to the divine within. This is your moment, your time to shine. The silence of their doubt, it will soon be deafening, because your truth will drown it out. Your light will eclipse it. The mission continues, but now you walk in full power. The darkness prepared you, the mission defined you, and the revelation, it sets you free to fulfill your destiny, to change the world. Your inner power, it is their undoing and your salvation. The mission was not about them, it was about you and the magnificent strength you found when you were at your lowest. They will see it, they will feel it, they will know. God is about to silence everyone who doubted you, because you already proved them wrong. With every breath, with every step, with every beat of your resilient heart, the revelation is complete. Your mission is in motion. The power is yours. The victory is imminent. The darkness wasn't an end. It was a crucible. You felt the weight of it. Every doubt, every whispered fear, they clung to you like chains. The world told you no. It told you to stop. to give up, to settle, but something inside you refused. A tiny ember refusing to be extinguished. You nurtured it in the silent hours, in the lonely nights, in the moments you thought you'd break. That ember became a flame, a defiant spark. It learned to burn hotter when the wind howled. It learned to shine brighter against the encroaching shadows. This was your spiritual mission, forged not in ease, but in struggle. You were being refined, purified, stripped bare of all pretense. All the superficial layers that society had plastered onto you. The need for approval, the fear of judgment. All of it burned away, leaving only the raw, unadulterated truth of who you were meant to be. This inner power, it wasn't given. It was earned in the trenches of your own soul. You stared into the abyss, and it stared back. And you didn't flinch. You found your footing. You learned to walk in the dark, to see with your spirit. Every setback became a lesson. Every rejection, a redirection. You learned to trust your intuition, that quiet voice that whispered the path forward, even when logic screamed otherwise. It became your compass, your unwavering guide. They tried to break you. They wanted you to conform, to fit into their small boxes. But you were never meant to be confined. You were born to soar, to defy gravity, to carve your own path through the impossible. The darkness taught you resilience. It taught you strength. It taught you that the greatest power lies not in external validation, but in the unshakable belief in yourself, even when no one else believed. Especially then. You discovered a reservoir of courage you never knew existed. A warrior spirit awakened within you. It rose to meet every challenge. It roared in the face of every obstacle. This was your battle cry, your anthem of defiance. The mission was clear: to bring your unique light into the world, to share the gifts you were uniquely equipped to give. But first, you had to become the vessel. Strong enough, pure enough, ready. You learned to embrace the solitude, to find peace in the quiet. The silence was not empty. It was filled with the hum of your own developing power, the echo of your own inner truth. They underestimated you. They saw your struggles as weakness. They mistook your quiet contemplation for surrender. Oh, how wrong they were. They didn't see the storm brewing within, the calm before the thunder. You were gathering your forces, honing your abilities, preparing for the moment when the light would break through, when your truth would be undeniable, when your doubters would finally see. This is the power of the spiritual journey. It takes you to the edge so you can learn to fly. It pushes you to your limits so you can discover your true strength. It plunges you into darkness so you can appreciate the brilliance of your own inner sun. You are a testament to the power of perseverance, a living example of what happens when you refuse to be silenced, when you choose to believe in your own divine purpose. The world is about to witness. The world is about to understand. The world is about to be silenced by the undeniable truth of your existence. Your mission is unfolding. Your power is undeniable. Your time is now. The silence stretched, not the peaceful kind. This was the heavy quiet of waiting. The air crackled with unspoken things. You felt it, deep in your bones. This journey wasn't for the faint of heart. It was forged in the crucible of doubt, in the long nights when shadows whispered lies, when every step felt like a stumble. But you kept going, didn't you? You learned to breathe in the darkness, to find strength where others saw only despair. That wasn't weakness. It was preparation. Each setback was a lesson, each tear a baptism. You were being refined, stripped down to your core, to the unshakable truth of who you are. The world told you to quit, to settle, to accept the limitations they imposed. But something inside you refused. A stubborn ember refusing to be extinguished. That ember grew, fanned by your resilience, fueled by your faith. It became a fire, a beacon. This fire is your spiritual mission. It's not about grand gestures or public acclaim. It's about the quiet power you cultivated, the inner strength you discovered when you were at your lowest. Remember those moments when you felt utterly alone, when the weight of the world pressed down. You thought you would break, but you didn't. You discovered a reservoir of power, a wellspring of courage you never knew existed. That power is real. It is yours. It was in the silence that you heard your own truth, in the struggle that you understood your purpose. You were being equipped, not for ease, but for impact. The doubters, they watched, they whispered, they judged. They couldn't comprehend the transformation happening within you. They saw the scars. They didn't see the healing. They saw the darkness. They didn't see the light you kindled from within it. They couldn't fathom the depths you had plumbed, the strength you had unearthed. This is your moment, the culmination of everything you endured, the validation of your unwavering spirit. God is about to reveal the truth, to expose the ignorance of those who questioned you, to showcase the power that bloomed in the barren places. Your spiritual mission is about to take center stage, not in a way they expect, not with thunderous applause. It will be a quiet, undeniable force, a testament to your perseverance, a declaration of your divine purpose. You were never meant to be small, never meant to be silenced. The darkness was not your end. It was your forge. The power you developed there, it's immense, it's potent, it's divinely ordained. The time for their doubt is over. The time for your revelation has arrived. They will see, they will understand, they will witness the power of a spirit that refused to break, a soul that found its mission in the deepest night. Your mission, your power, your truth. It's about to be